I'm an alum. Notice I didn't say proud alum, Dan, of LaSalle for several reasons.
Yeah.
But you know why it's important, why people don't get it? Ad nauseum, you can talk about the tit for tat. Oh, look at what's going on in Gaza. No. A lot of the action on this, to me, what I center in is what do people here say in this country, particularly in our area, particularly in the Philadelphia area, about what we've seen play out. The report today, several sources claiming they found babies that had been beheaded by Hamas. Now, part of me, as I always say in this stuff, if you kill someone, you're the savagery here. But for some people, maybe it shows what the stakes are. 200 plus found dead just in this one area. 40 were babies. Babies, they mean. All right. So Swarthmore, those clowns, the Swarthmore Students for Justice in Palestine say they honor the martyrs being the Palestinians who are being, hopefully, the Hamas Palestinians being mowed down by the hundreds as we speak by Israel. And they call for the killing of more Jews until, in their mind, over at Swarthmore, Israel is not a colonizer, the latest word du jour. Now, you expect it. Nothing new there with Swarthmore. By the way, before I get to LaSalle, Dan, the Sixers put out a tweet. And you could say, well, why does a basketball team? But I could argue on this one that this is so, you know what it is? It's so out of bounds. And it's proof in my mind for anybody that didn't know it about how one side is essentially good and the other side is essentially evil. So the Sixers put out a tweet. The Eagles then put out a tweet. The Eagles, of course, don't mention Hamas. They equivocate a little bit more. A guy working for Philly Voice, covering the Sixers, posted the Sixers tweet. He's the beat writer. He's only there a month. And he writes, "This post sucks. Free Palestine." Now, I support his First Amendment right to do whatever he wants. But Philly Voice, I understand why they fired him. I don't think the Sixers are going to give a lot of access to a guy supporting that position. Do you? No. Now, let's get to LaSalle. Thanks to a listener, Dan, who sent this to me, and we're careful with this. I went 3 times on the Instagram of the Muslim Students Association at LaSalle, MSA. Yeah. Dan has contacted everybody but the Explorer over at LaSalle. And if you're an alum or even if you're not, you know that Harvard students, and they were backed up by 31 student associations, they issued this sickening version of what we've seen play out, in which Israel's responsible for 75 years of oppression, etc. Well, Dan, it reads almost the same. The Muslim Students Association over at LaSalle, they put up the same thing. Now, I get it. These Muslim associations, we know where they're going to lean by and large. I can't see too many going the other way. And their argument is this is an open-air prison, Gaza. What they're saying is, yeah, more of this is going to happen until you give us a free state, et cetera. Yeah, we know what you mean over at LaSalle. But Dan, what shocked me, and the listener made a great point on this, were the signatories over at LaSalle that went along with this. One of them is called the LaSalle Ambassadors Group. Now, these are people that I read that are a liaison between the parents, new students, alums, and the university. So they represent, they're the face of LaSalle. To my knowledge, by the way, the president of LaSalle, whoever's in charge over there, they haven't issued any statement on this about Hamas. What are they teaching there? That these students would go on and on in the face of what we've seen. And they would have all kinds of groups signing on to this nonsense. So we're asking him to come on And please don't waste our time. Whoever you get from LaSalle, Dan, and tell us about. We're not saying they don't have a First Amendment to right to do this. But what are we saying? What we're saying is this is a smoking gun. Swarthmore, we've seen it before. Harvard, Larry Summers, he was a liberal. He worked with Bill Clinton. The former president of LaSalle said of Harvard how he was sickened by what these Harvard students put up. Well, yeah, Dan, read a little bit of it. But before we do that, can we get the other?
I'll put on the hat of the MSA, the powerlifting club students who said this idiotic statement, if you want.
The Student Government Association, Dan, these are the president, vice presidents of all the classes.
Idiots, man.
The Residential Students Association, are they the ones that work with students? They're like a, guide of students in housing there? No, I'm not letting up on this, LaSalle. Ro's an alum. I'm an alum. Luke's an alum. If you're a LaSalle alum, are the Christian Brothers turning into the Jesuits? Have they lost their minds? What the hell are they teaching there? All right, Dan, read the letter. Here's a letter that the Muslim Student Association put up, was signed off on by the LaSalle Education Association, the Powerlifting Club. Hey, put down that weight, buddy. We're going to sign up. Go and kill some Jews.
We, the undersigned student organizations on this letter, hold the Israeli government accountable for the ongoing violence occurring. The events occurring are not isolated. For the past 2 decades, millions of Palestinians in Gaza have been forced to live in open-air prisons. Israeli authorities have threatened to escalate the conflict, resulting in casualties in Gaza. In the days ahead, Palestinians will face the brunt, it says, because they spelled it wrong, but the brunt of Israel's aggression, and the blame solely lies with the apartheid regime. For the past 75 years, Israeli violence has shaped every aspect of Palestinian life, from land seizures to regular airstrikes, arbitrary detention to military checkpoints and forced separations of families to targeted assassinations. Palestinians have been subjected to constant threats of both gradual and sudden death. This week, the Palestinian situation enters uncharted territory, demanding a strong stance against colonial retaliation.
Colonial. There we go.
We urge the LaSalle University community to take action to help halt the ongoing harm inflicted on Palestinians. I can't even believe I'm reading this. This is coming out of my mouth. It's disgusting to me that these words are coming out. Sorry, that's not part of the letter. This statement serves to educate on what's occurring solely based on facts. However, we would also like to acknowledge that there are innocent civilians on both sides affected by the genocide. If you want more information about what is happening, feel free to DM the LaSalle MSA as we encourage questions.
Have you done that, Dan?
I've emailed them. I have not DM'd them.
Yeah, DM them. Tell them Madame Giordano has a nice seat for them here. And, they can explain why beheading babies is something that is palatable to them. Maybe they want more of it. The Powerlifting Club, the Student Association for Cockamamie. I mean, what are they teaching over at LaSalle? That's what I'd like to hear from you. And again, don't trifle with us. We're not going to take your call about the First Amendment. Of course, they have a First Amendment right to put up and be signatories to whatever they want. They're sickening. They're an embarrassment. And I'm sure by now, with Dan sending stuff over there, they should be able to provide a spokesperson. Here's what I want to know. What's LaSalle going to do about this? Look, if this were a student organization saying something this hateful, this bloodthirsty, this off the mark on almost anything else, even if it were on Ukraine and they had a different point of view, I think they would shut down. They'd have a colloquium, whatever they call it. What are you going to do, LaSalle? What's your response to this? Thanks to the listener who sent it to me. We can't monitor the whole world. It's right next to Hajib Day and some other food day there. Dan, they don't even get it. How this isn't even separated from the usual claptrap on a Instagram like that. They think this is just business as usual, that the world's not gone. Have you seen what Hamas has done and what they would do? Are you kidding me? Okay. Let's go to Samir in why the heck? Sorry about that, Samir. Yeah. All right, Samir, you're on Talk Radio 1210. Hi.
All Oh, he has us on hold. Samir, call us back, man. What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing putting us on hold? We put you on hold.
All right, it's
What are you looking for?
well, there's a computer. There's a mouse here somewhere. Do I have to set a mouse trap to find it? All right, give me that mouse trap.
Yeah, I'll get that for you in a second.
Okay, yeah, it's nicely hidden. It's the other computer, but the mouse trap didn't work. All right. Yeah, call us back, Samir. I'd like to know why this is fake news. The whole world is colluding.
Yeah, it sounded like he was pro-Palestine.
Yeah, or a LaSalle student. 855-839-1210. You get in. If you're an LaSalle alum, what do you call upon them to do here? Side question today. All right, yesterday. I'm in the camp that thinks this is huge news. I could see it even more after the way RFK Jr. conducted this yesterday. I don't think he's going to win with an independent party, but I could see him in some swing states even breaking double figures. If that happens in a swing state, you know what kind of chaos we have here? Wow. I'm still convinced his family went after him in a scathing letter saying he's put America's future at risk. You know what that means? Townsend Kennedy and all these, they think Joe Biden's going to go down because of this guy. I do too. But it's not sure. So coming off Robert Kennedy Jr., hit us with that all-time father who was famous historically or a celebrity, not just celebrities though. Could be an historical figure, and son or daughter. And if you have a junior, if he turned out to be a junior, Dan, I'd hate to carry. Yeah, we never put DJ was Dominic Joseph, just like me, but we didn't put Junior in there.
Yeah.
So DJ's really the fourth.
Wow.
Yeah, if you get a Roman numeral like IV next to your name, they're going to kill you.
Wait, so it's the same middle name too for you guys?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So you can't burden a kid with an IV next to him.
No,
Roman
I think it's pretty cool, actually. I mean, you got a lot of the players now doing senior and trying to get those extra.
Yeah. I'd hate to be a junior. I was a junior, but we didn't use junior. So,
Junior's cool too.
Yeah.
You
know? All right.
Like on the back of if you were an NFL player, would you want Giordano Jr. on there?
Not really.
No?
I don't have a thing
Say
for
your
that.
father played in the NFL, though.
Yeah.
Then you want it?
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to take one at random off. It's not an historical figure, but I just thought it was an interesting one. John Voight, who was a very prominent actor.
That's a great answer.
And Angelina Jolie, who probably is even more prominent. He's a better actor, arguably, I think.
I think he is, too.
Yeah. Midnight Cowboy. So how about yours?
I'm going to take off. Behind us, you hear Frank and his daughter, Nancy. But one of the big ones I want to take off. And I just got I want your opinion. I've been playing a lot of MLB The Show because of the Phillies being in the playoffs. And one guy I've fallen back in love with is Ken Griffey Jr. And the guy had a lot of swag. He had the backwards hat during the home run derby. And his father, also one heck of a baseball player, right?
Oh, he was very good.
Was he known for the same kind of swag that Junior brought?
No, he was on the Big Red Machine, so it was pretty hard to stand out with Pete Rose, Johnny Bench, Joe Morgan, Tony Perez. Yeah, so it was good, though. I mean,
that's my answer today. Is, Ken Griffey
Ken
Jr.
Griffey,
Senior.
if he didn't lose interest and get hurt, both, would have hit 800 home runs at one point. That was a projection. Yeah. And he was a great defensive center fielder. So, all right, 855-839-1210. You can get in on that. That's the side question. What's your sense of, look, I'm not surprised at Swarthmore. I'm not surprised at Harvard. LaSalle, is that your brand now too? And you can't hide behind the First Amendment. All right, taking your calls. That's coming up here on Talk Radio 1210.
Hypertrophic cardiomyopathy is a serious heart condition. Some symptoms include being short of breath, feeling tired, or having dizziness or chest pain. My HCM impacted how I felt and what I could do. So I asked my cardiologist about treatment advances that gave me new options. That conversation was big for me. Talk to your cardiologist today. You may be glad you did.
John was compensated for his time. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb. Are you concerned about your child struggling in school? Do they need more of a challenge? Now's the time to make the call to Kathy Ganna and New Hope Academy in Yardley and Doylestown at 800-300-0003. Let New Hope Academy transform your child's life forever by helping them now. For over 3 decades, New Hope Academy founder Kathy Ganna, a pioneering educator and entrepreneur who created the NHA model, has been utilizing state-of-the-art solutions to uncover ways where your child could avoid struggling and succeed. At New Hope Academy, there's a student-teacher ratio of 2 to 1, allowing for students to deal with many disorders, including high anxiety, social, and emotional, and including bipolar. Do not wait. Remember, only the best teachers can work at NHA. Call for a no-obligation tour and consultation. 90% of NHA graduates pursue a college education. Call Kathy today at 800-300-0003. Online, newhopeacademy.net. Call New Hope Academy today.
40 days up to 40 pounds. Say it with me, 40 days up to 40 pounds. Visit njdiet.com or call 855-5NJ-DIET. That's 855-5NJ-DIET. 40 days up to 40 pounds. 40 days up to 40 pounds.
Bringing in your front line is as easy as 1, 2, key. SEPTA Key Advantage is a unique and valuable transit benefit program that gives your employees all-day, everyday access to the entire SEPTA system. That means your staff can get in for their first, second, or third shifts and even travel the system on their off hours, seamlessly and affordably, all thanks to you. Learn how easy it is to customize a SEPTA Key Advantage program for your team at septa.org/partner programs. That's septa.org/partner programs.
I thought I was going to have to go through a hip replacement or some painful, unsuccessful surgery or be crippled the rest of my life.
Electrical engineer Dan Vogler had awful arthritic pain in his hips, pain that not only affected him physically, but also emotionally, and it spilled over even to his relationships.
I was almost mean. If you're in pain and other people don't sympathize with it, you're lashing out at the wrong people.
But then Dan found QC Kinetics. With the latest advances in regenerative medicine, non-surgical treatments with lasting relief.
I felt immediate relief. I mean, within half a day, much of the inflammation and pain was down.
And today, Dan says he's totally pain-free, living the life he wants.
At the end of the 4th treatment, I felt pretty much healed and enthused and was raving about QC Kinetics. I can recommend them highly to anyone.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 215-999-3000. That's 215-999-3000. 215-999-3000.
Don't miss Dr. Marianne Ritchie, your radio doctor, at a special time this Saturday morning at 10. Get accurate information so you can make the right medical decisions. Your radio doctor this Saturday morning at 10 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
All right, Bob Dylan's son coming back. A much clearer voice. That guy's got no future in show business.
It's a little bit of the nasally tone, though, from Jacob here, the
Well,
Wallflowers.
just think what it's like for DJ to have to follow me, you know? My voice is deeper, and all that.
Oh, he's got your clarity and intelligence, but with the deeper voice.
He
DJ,
doesn't have, no, he doesn't. Let's go to Samir in Lancaster on Talk Radio 1210. Hello, Samir.
Yes, hi. I have a couple of questions for you. You said on your show now that the Palestinians are beheading Israeli kids.
I said there were, excuse me, I said there were several.
Can I finish my statement, please?
No, we don't do statements here, Samir. We're not in Gaza.
Can I finish my question?
Go ahead.
Yes. So I'm going to repeat my questions because you guys are so good at interrupting people. So you said on your show that the Palestinians are beheading Israeli kids.
For the second time,
can you confirm?
For the second time, I said there were several reports. And I also said that doesn't
several
really.
Reports from where? From where? Several reports.
Excuse me, Samir. I also said that doesn't matter to me. I don't care if they beheaded them or not. Is there any doubt they slaughtered them?
Yes, this is a lie. Where did you get the reports from? Why you giving lies to your listeners?
What are you going to do about it, Samir? You don't like it, do you?
I want you to be right. I don't want you to give lies. This is my call to you. Stop lying to the people.
Samir, what lies are we telling? So what would you need? Do we need to produce up there in Lancaster? Do we need to bring babies there?
Question?
Do we need to bring? No, you can answer mine.
Can I ask you another question?
All right, Samir, let me give you the answer to that. Get out. Thank you very much. All right, 855-839-1210.
I usually take the sides of callers like that when you hang, but
Yeah.
it's indefensible, man. Come on.
My statement. No, we're not reading your statement here. So I said clearly, if these are true, it gets some people the enormity, the savagery of it. It doesn't matter to me, though. See, that's the only point, Dan. I think I make that all the time. If you kill someone, and they are killing babies, that's enough. The beheading is just something more ghastly that gives you an idea of this. But if you murder them, that's the point.
I can't believe you're having to make that statement. Just it seems so common sense, so morally
Right.
correct.
All right, here's why I brought up the butchering and all. And it's several places report the beheading and all this. We have seen some of the military. Dan, I only say it because there are some people you can't reach any other way. I don't understand their mentality. In other words, if you murder someone, I don't care if you do it delicately or not, you're getting the death penalty. For some people, though, that's a death penalty. I don't like the way they murdered them. All right, so the whole world is lying about this headline that the Israeli defense soldiers discover unspeakable horrors. The unspeakable horror is killing people, beheading them. Yeah, it just shows you the level. But again, Dan, my whole point is to bring it up for the people that still don't get how enormous this is. But go ahead.
No, I just wanted like he's trying to sully the narrative that. So I'm looking here at the report. Correct. One of the reports of where this is coming from is I-24 News. It's the local Israeli outlet coming straight from the Israeli Defense Forces. And Samir and the pro-Palestinian group is trying to create this conspiracy narrative where the media is lying to us about what's going on out there. But it's clear as day. We're seeing people get savaged like that. It's indefensible, man. I don't know how there's people out there, how there's Americans marching the streets saying that this is okay in any way.
Hey, they're in the student cafeteria over at LaSalle right now, too. Put down your tray and wake up. And the Christian Brothers, stop your nonsense. You're the Jesuits under a different name now. What are they being taught at LaSalle? Where these groups stand? Yeah, the powerlifting is a nice touch. The powerlifters signed off on it. But these groups are the LaSalle ambassadors. They're the ambassadors of the school signing up on this document saying that we want you to do everything you can to stop what the Israelis have been up to for 75 years. Now, college kids are stupid. They're not formed yet and all the rest of it.
It's so sad.
That's where the president of LaSalle, we're calling upon him. Let's have a colloquium. Let's have a thing. I'd be happy to go over, Dan, even to be surrounded by hundreds of these people. Doesn't bother me in the slightest. Let's do that. What's their argument here? This is justified, is what they're saying. Are they being taught Christianity at LaSalle? Think about that. Well, what's the theology courses at LaSalle telling them? Moral equivalency? Is that it? Is it day and night over there at LaSalle? Well, it's the same thing. Look at what the Israelis are doing. Man, let's go to Bruce in Hatboro on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Bruce, afternoon.
Hey, Dom, how you doing?
Good.
Unfortunately, I'm sad to say that I am an alumnus of LaSalle. The high school, LaSalle College High School, the kids are far more mature than these idiots. Once they get to the college, they get indoctrinated. And I'm totally surprised by all this. I was the chair. I chaired several events for fundraisers. I've raised money for the college. Guess what? They will never see my name again as a fundraiser.
Well, Bruce, Bruce, I would, if you can, call their information office. Dan is trying to get somebody on. Let them know about this. They have to know by now with all these groups signing off on it. And again, anybody can check it out. It's the LaSalle University Muslim Student Association Instagram page. And what it is, Bruce, it's pretty much the language that the Harvard students put up. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, but then to see the ambassadors of LaSalle sign off on this.
More like Jesuits.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, so it is not a good day. Bruce, do you have a famous father and daughter or son?
I was thinking of Deion Sanders and his son.
Who is it again?
Deion Sanders.
That's a good one.
Shador
Yeah,
Sanders.
we'll put that one down. All right. Yeah, we'll
or
put
his
that
other
one
8
down.
sons that are on the team.
Yeah, I don't wish them well football-wise.
Oh,
and
come
you always-
on. He's entertaining. You can admit he's entertaining, if not controversial.
Oh, he is.
I mean, but
Yeah. He's just got to run into like a Nick Saban with a good team one year. Nick Saban won't say anything. Then after 52-0, he might say something.
I love that answer. Answer
Yeah. All right. It's 855-839-1210. That's how you get in. Are we going to go back to this, that there's doubt about the slaughter that we've seen, the bodies, etc.? And again, this beheading report is out there this morning. Whether or not there's, is there any doubt about the report, Dan? And I didn't say it yesterday. I didn't want to be graphic, but I guess we have to. These women that are raped, the head of the Anti-Defamation League finally found his voice on MSNBC this morning and said these women are paraded around bleeding, his words, from their crotch because of all the raping they've experienced.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. We're supposed to sit here and allow people to say, well, what about Israel? Okay? What about Israel? And that's why these statements, by the way, the great man, Dan, have finally put up a statement. Jim Kenney put up a statement
Oh, finally.
a few hours ago. Senator Vincent Hughes liked his statement. Kenney wrote, I'm horrified by the terrorist attacks on Israeli civilians carried out by Hamas. As this distressing conflict unfolds abroad, my heart is with all of our residents with ties to the region. I pray for peace, stability, and the safety of all civilians. Now, the first part, at least, did identify Hamas. Almost every member of Philadelphia City Council has not put out a statement. And Dan, people say, well, why do you keep saying it? Why do they have to put out a statement? We all know why. They don't want to go on the record here, even something this clear. And as I said, LaSalle University, let's see, before the end of the show, or they could come on tomorrow, what are they going to do about this? If they are educators, they don't think this is clear cut, what we've seen play out here, that this statement is ignorant at best with all these people signing off on it. The sheer horror of this is being justified as a matter of resistance. Now, this is the same thing when we had people say during the George Floyd summer, it's not violence, it's an insurrection, it's the resistance. All right, 855-839-1210, AT&T and Verizon Wireless, you just push pound 1210. By the way, Admiral Kirby today asked about, do we have an operation, Dan, underway to rescue Americans, not the hostages, but Americans in Israel? Said, no, we have no such thing at this point. Don't you think that'd be one of your first duties as president? Get Americans out of there? You mean to say our military and it couldn't even be a practice exercise for them in case they're under heavier siege? It's also reported at least 4 American hostages have been taken by Hamas, at least 4. So it's going to be very interesting to see what Joe Biden does throughout all this. All right, Dr. Marty makes a house call. Dr. Marty McCary with us next. Several things on Fauci, COVID, et cetera, have built up. A little bit later in the show, we're going to talk with the head of the Senate, Kim Ward, in Pennsylvania. She's got quite a thing going back and forth with Governor Josh Shapiro. Dan, by the way, Josh Shapiro's throwing out the first pitch tomorrow night.
Oh, no,
man.
What?
Here we
No.
go. Yo,
Why?
yes.
Why do we have to be political, Phillies?
Yeah.
Like out of everyone you can get for the first pitch.
Yes. It seems very political.
Like
to
you're
me.
not kidding. They've announced that Shapiro's gonna be throwing.
You
this
check
out?
it out. DJ sent me a couple of links
Wow.
to it. Yeah. So there we go. All right. 855-839-1210. You get in. A snap into action this NFL season with FanDuel in
CBS News
partnership.
confirms it.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, he
sorry.
is the governor.
Yeah,
So,
I know, but still, Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, it's okay. Snap into action this NFL season with FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $2,000 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. Now, FanDuel has all your favorite bets from the money line to point spreads. Get your winnings paid fast. And if you're thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action than right now. Over, unders, and more player props are all there. Visit FanDuel.com/Dom and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel is the official partner of the NFL. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. You have to be 21 plus, present in Pennsylvania. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.
We have made it to the second day of the work week, and we have some mid and high level clouds moving across our area. Temperatures this afternoon reaching 67 degrees in Philadelphia, with more opportunities for sunshine later in the day. Tonight, mainly clear skies with a low near 48. A chilly start of our Wednesday morning. Some of the suburbs will actually be in the low 40s. Wednesday afternoon, abundant sunshine, 69 degrees, clear skies, perfect weather for the Phillies game Wednesday. Also, Thursday seems to be in great shape, 71 degrees, the high temperature for the afternoon. I'm NBC 10 First Alert meteorologist Marvin Gomez.
Weather sponsored by Malvern Retreat House, the nation's largest Catholic retreat house in Chester County, hosting men's and women's retreats, couples retreats, spiritual direction, recovery retreats, and more. Retreat from the noise and hear God's voice at malvernretreat.com.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. When it comes to all your home improvement needs, trust is everything. And that's why for years, I've been talking about the amazing work my friends Stephanie and Matt and the entire team at Emmons has done for me and my home. My roof, doors, windows, siding, and yes, remodeling projects. Emmons can bring that same quality of work to all of your kitchen and bathroom remodeling needs. Roofing, siding, windows, doors, and now baths and kitchens. Emmons is the Delaware Valley's one-stop shop for all of your home improvement needs. Call 856-556-3229 and get a free estimate, or go online to emmonsroofing.com, or even better, come visit the Emmons Design Showroom in Cherry Hill. emmonsroofing.com. It's about trust, it's about quality, it's about great work, and that's why me and my family have used them for basically every project we've done to improve our home. emmonsroofing.com.
Hi, this is Dr. Brad Schaefer. As a podiatrist, I can tell you no two people's feet are alike, which is why I recommend Dr. Scholl's custom fit orthotic inserts. They're customized for your feet, so you get a unique solution your feet really need, not just a one-size-fits-all insole. They're clinically proven to provide pain relief for achy feet, knees, lower back, plantar fasciitis, and heels. Take the Dr. Scholl's custom fit orthotics assessment in Walmart today, now in the foot care aisle.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 1039 FM.
Fighting escalates between Israel and Hamas. Biden speaking on the matter after the White House confirms at least 11 Americans among the casualties. House Republicans meeting behind closed doors as they zero in on a speaker option. And former Philly Raul Ibanez and PA Governor Josh Shapiro will throw out their first pitch at Game 3 tomorrow.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Chronic pain, cancer, fatigue. Find out about the benefits of medical hydration therapy on Health Watch with Dr. Molly Fantasia every Sunday morning at 8 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
Tom Giordano's show, Big Issues, Big Guests. It's always great when Dr. Marty McCary makes a house call. Something recently happened at Penn that was very good. Breakthrough, Nobel Prize, science. But Dr. Marty sent me something prior to these people at the University of Penn being recognized in that manner about how, fickle and or political these universities are one day to the next. In other words, it's not about science at all. Dr. Marty McCary from Johns Hopkins, the author of The Price We Pay What Broke American Healthcare. Let's go to Dr. Marty here on Talk Radio 1210. Marty, welcome in. Thanks for joining us.
Good to be with you.
Why did I saw that, and until you noticed it also, I was thinking, yeah, maybe I'll mention it. It just undercuts this idea. These people were shunned, and then suddenly they're the scientists of the year. Is Marty there, Dan? I don't know what happened here. All right. Hey, Dr. Marty. All right, a little. Okay. Yeah, Marty, I was saying these scientists over at Penn, we hear all the time, follow the science. And it seems at one point they were one of them was almost kicked out of Penn. And then suddenly they win the Nobel Prize.
Well, she basically left. The Nobel laureate from the University of Pennsylvania announced just a couple weeks ago she was basically pushed out. I mean, she was just given a ton of pressure. She was her pay was cut. She was demeaned. She had her office moved to the outskirts of the campus. They demoted her. They did everything to basically push her out. And finally, in 2013, she just left in disgust. Now, she ends up getting a Nobel Prize after they told her she was not faculty material. She gets a Nobel Prize, and now Penn is celebrating how great they are because they've got this Nobel laureate from their institution. So where's the humility? That's the underlining issue. It's not about this particular Nobel laureate. It's about humility in science and in the academic establishment. I mean, the patients expect humility from their doctors, but these institutions can be so arrogant. And it's not just about this Nobel Prize winner. They've had scandal after scandal. There was some internal cover-up over the gene therapy mistakes that they had made in the past. Internal documents show they were doing a big cover-up. It was a big story written up in the Pennsylvanian. And just a couple of years ago, they had a student who they basically pushed her out of her Rhodes Scholarship because they thought she had fabricated her application when she said she was abused as a kid. Turns out it was all true. No real apology from the institution. So I think the bigger issue is humility.
Well, without a doubt. Now, we're back to, again, a lot of stuff going on around the booster shots. You and I have talked about it a little bit, and it seems as if this new tranche of them, Dr. Marty, not too many people are enamored with it. They're not doing it, and I think some of it is what you talk about. The testing on this is just not there, yet Pfizer is in the middle of the NFL football battle between Aaron Rodgers and Mr. Pfizer, the tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, I would not have recommended that Travis Kelce get the new COVID booster. I mean, show me a professional athlete in the world who's ever died of COVID. I've never. It's never happened. And we did some research to see if it's ever happened, because if you're a professional athlete, you're at the ultra low risk for COVID. So why are we recommending boosters in somebody who's had COVID in the past and somebody who's ultra low risk? And for the vaccine, which was approved in the case of the Pfizer COVID booster, approved a month ago based on data from 10 mice. So, I mean, what are we doing here? This is not about COVID protection or anything. This is just about, hey, do what we say. Don't ask questions. Don't ask for any data. This is not the flu shot. I mean, the COVID vaccine has a higher complication rate, much higher complication rate. So I don't understand what's going on here, but I can tell you this. The American people are basically saying no to all this lying and deception from public health officials. The CDC wants 99% of Americans to get the new COVID shot. They want every baby 6 months and old to get the new shot. But right now, the number's at about 1%. So Americans are just saying no to this
without a doubt. Now, I'm not sure, Dr. Marty, if you saw, we had Rand Paul on, and I saw him on when the book got released. with Dr. Fauci. Rand Paul's a doctor, an eye doctor, but a doctor. So he really went into a great deal of depth on this. And the implication is throwing his weight around more than just that subtly with Dr. Fauci, but really hell-bent, even CIA connection potentially, to say this didn't happen in the Wuhan lab, and that's it.
It's unbelievable. I mean, Dr. Rand Paul has done a lot in his role at the Senate to sort of dig up some of this stuff. Nobody was asking for the Wuhan lab's application to the State Department to create the COVID virus. They had a blueprint that they sent to the State Department saying, we want to take a bat coronavirus and insert a furin cleavage site gene to allow it to infect mammalian cells like humans. And this application sat at the State Department. Tony Blinken wouldn't hand it over. So Rand Paul brought him in and fried him and said, why won't you give us this application, this document? Why are you protecting China and not sharing this application that was submitted from the Wuhan lab? It was the blueprint of how to create COVID-19. Now, the U.S. never funded that application, but it came in 2 years before the COVID outbreak. So it was basically the blueprint, and it was the smoking gun. If I tell you, hey, I'm going to go buy this particular gun at this particular store and go shoot this particular individual at this particular address and send you the blueprint, that's pretty damning as to what happened. So, I mean, it's as close to evidence as you can get. And Rand Paul's the one who really pressed Tony Blinken, met with him in person, fried him in front of the Senate to say, give us this document, until he finally did.
I want a day of reckoning. I'm not sure, and I don't want to get you involved in a political question here, but the force with Bob Kennedy Jr. down the block from where we are, Marty, here in Philadelphia, announcing independent third party. There's a lot of stuff with Kennedy, Big Pharma, and also with COVID, et cetera. And that might be the vehicle that somehow or another, I'd rather maybe other vehicles, but we need to have the day of reckoning on exactly what happened there and how all this transpired so that there's consensus, widespread consensus on that.
Well, I appreciate RFK for asking questions nobody has been asking. And my mom taught me you can learn something from everybody, even those you disagree with. And I'll tell you, RFK Jr. was the only person calling out pharma on some particular things. For example, Biden's new pick to lead the NIH. Everyone was about to say, hey, great, this is awesome, high-fiving each other. We have a new person to lead the NIH who's a woman. RFK Jr. says, wait a minute, she's received over $90 million from Pfizer. Where isn't this conflict of interest important? So I believe you can learn something from everybody. And he's brought up some points I think nobody else has brought up.
I agree with. I didn't know about that. I will check on that too. So, Dr. Marty, where do we find you on Twitter? What are you writing next? What are you doing next?
Great. Well, I'm on Twitter, Terry, and I try to put out our research studies and promote those of other good academic scientists so people know there's not just one voice in the scientific community. There's multiple voices. And I like a lot of the doctors out there. I'll tell you that one of the big projects we're working on right now is looking at the American Academy of Pediatrics recommendation from the year 2000 to tell kids to avoid all peanuts. They created massive peanut allergies. For 15 years, they lied to the American people, saying moms and kids should avoid peanuts, and that's what created this massive surge in peanut allergies. You go to the restaurant, and they say, anyone here we're allergic to peanuts? That's a manufacturing crisis in part.
Tell me, would you please, by avoiding peanuts, how does that create the allergy?
Because your body becomes sensitive to it. The American Academy of Pediatrics forgot about immune tolerance, because when you're around things as a kid, you become tolerant immunologically. They should have done the proper randomized controlled trial. It was done 15 years after they issued their dogma, and it proved them wrong. And that's why the recommendation has shifted now to say don't avoid peanuts in the first few years of life, and don't avoid peanuts if you're pregnant or lactating.
I can hardly wait to see that, Dr. Marty. It's an education every time we have you on. Thank you. Thanks as always for joining us, Marty McCary.
Thanks, Tom, and good luck to the Eagles this week.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Marty. Dan, did you hear that last thing? The peanut allergy thing. I can remember the day in talk and the vehemence of some people about that, if you, in their minds, trivialize it. And you went through it maybe at when you were in high school. By that point, it started to reach, that kid's got to be at another table over there. He can't be near anything. Anybody got peanut butter here? Throw it in the trash can over here.
No, it was after my time, but like my sister's kids and their friends, it's all like everyone has an allergy to something, and
Exactly.
almost I would say like 50% of them are allergic to peanuts, and
Allegedly, yeah,
allegedly.
All right, so 855-839-1210. A lot of great stuff. You heard what Dr. Marty said about RFK, too, on the National Institutes of Health, the woman, Pfizer. That was like a subtle, well, he's got some good stuff there. I just am amazed, and kudos again to Dan and Dorenzo covering this yesterday. I just don't think it's getting enough. And if I'm right, this is going to be, he is an election determinant. Whichever voters he peels off in 2 or 3 swing states, more Trump or Biden, I can't believe it'll be neck and neck. So let's say he peels off more Biden people by even a percentage point. You realize that would give the Trump side, all things being equal, back to 2020, Georgia, Arizona, places like that. Maybe not Pennsylvania, but it would be enough that Trump would win. Now, if he peels off from Trump, not Biden, ultimately, then Biden's going to win. I mean, he's a real chaos agent, a real game changer here. All right, side question. Give us that famous father and either son or daughter, or if you have both, throughout history, not just celebrities, but it could be historical figures, anything, coming off the RFK Jr. announcement yesterday. Phone lines are 855-839-1210. Let's talk Captain Chucky here for a moment. For all seafood lovers who still haven't tried Captain Chucky's crab cakes, what are you waiting for? At Captain Chucky's, they're always trying to keep things new and fresh. If you haven't tried the new banging crab ravioli or lobster ravioli with their amazing blush sauce, well, now's the time to do it. Also, try Captain Chucky's brand new product, Philly Famous Clams Casino. I talked with Sharon over in Flowertown where I go and said, wow, people are loving the Philly Famous Clams Casino. And Captain Chucky's has several choices of breaded, non-breaded crab cakes, literally a crab cake for everybody. Dessert, soup, sides, appetizers. My personal favorite, the Dom roll. They use only the highest quality ingredients. Or Gulf shrimp. Huge hit, always wild caught, never farm raised. Now's the perfect time to college football, Phillies baseball going on. Visit one of Captain Chucky's 19, soon-to-be 20 locations. Say hello to the crew in Newtown Square, Westtown Farm Market, Mullica Hill Farm Market. Jason and Bridget Latier in Jamison, and Tony and Jamie Parson in Cinnaminson. The Vogelsang families in Runnymede, New Jersey. In Ocean City, it's Chris and Donna Ryan and Sea Isle, the McCann family. Sea Isle and Ocean City open Fridays and Saturdays, noon to 5. And congrats to Sam Cancelleri and Irish Mike McGarry. The Medford location is now open, coming soon to Northeast Philadelphia and Home Circle, the Graziani family. One big website, WeLoveCrabCakes.com. But if you're headed to the shore, check out CaptainChucky'sAtTheShore.com.
Hey, you. The one on the couch who just told your friend you can't go out because you're busy? Ready to get real about your psoriasis? When your current treatments don't do enough to help control the inflammation beneath the skin, causing plaques and pain, stressing and scratching, it's time to stop hiding and get real with your dermatologist so they can help you get clear. Get real clear about psoriasis at letsgetrealclear.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Like any good agent, we're here for the open house, for the closing, for handing over keys. But because we're realtors, we're here for so much more. Agents who are realtors volunteer at nearly 3 times the national average. We're working to broaden access to credit, increase affordable housing supply, and ensure fair housing for all. And realtors are bound by a code of ethics. We're here for it all. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing, together millions of things for our planet. After Halloween this year, don't throw out your jack-o'-lantern. Use it to start composting instead. Pumpkins and other gourds are perfect additions to any compost pile. You can also add soil and roots from dead potted plants. And if you have a garden, be sure to add garden waste from cleaning and pruning, like stems, roots, and leaves. When we each share our one thing, it becomes 100 things, 1,000 things, 1,000,000 things for our planet. What's your one thing?
Miller Lite has high hopes for the Phillies this season, so catch every game at JT Brewski's Pub in Primos, PA for a $3.50 Miller Lite pint special. JT Brewski's features a wide variety of locally influenced craft beer on tap, flowing from their 29 cold draft lines. Indulge at JT Brewski's extensive pub menu, including their thin crust pizzas. So enjoy every Phil's game at JT Brewski's. JT Brewski's Pub in Primos, a proud partner of WIP's High Hopes Pod with James Seltzer and Jack Fritz. It's Miller time, Phillies fans. Celebrate responsibly.
Have you been dreaming of a new shower to replace your slippery, ugly old tub? We're not talking about those cheap wraps that cover your old bath. PJ Fitzpatrick can install a low threshold or low entry, fully customized jacuzzi shower system in just one day. It is surprisingly affordable and it comes with a lifetime guarantee. Visit trustpj.com to set up a free design consultation and take advantage of generous fall promotions. That's trustpj.com.
Looking for a new Ford? Winter Ford has the vehicle for you. Choose from our large selection of new F-150s, Explorers, Escapes, and Bronco Sports today. Winter Ford also takes care of you after the sale. Stop in their service department with no appointment necessary. Call 800-428-4000 for offer details. Visit in person or online at winterford.com. Winter Ford, people you trust, service and value you'll love.
Hey, it's John Ritchie. If you're in the restaurant, hospitality, or casino business and your point of sale system isn't helping you sell more, earn more, or work less, you need to talk to my friends at PDQ Signature Systems. PDQ has everything you need for success, including enhanced mobile reporting, direct integration to delivery apps, 24/7 customer service, and so much more. Whether you have a single location restaurant or thousands of locations, Joe Flynn and his team at PDQ can help. Visit PDQPOS.com.
Miss any of the Dom Giordano program? Download and follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app.
It is Dom time. Welcome in, 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board. If you miss that's every time Dr. Marty comes on, I just don't know where we're going to go, but we swerve into something good that he's working on the peanut allergy. By the way, we say it, Dan, every day because we don't accept answers that are biblical and or Donald Trump for the obvious things that we've stated again and again and again, right? So, yeah, we get it. Donald Trump Jr., or the father of Donald Trump, just on the side question, okay? Just so you're not disappointed, that's where we're going. All right, we haven't heard from LaSalle yet, right, Dan? I guess things must be busy over at 20th and Albany. They must be working up another theological lesson on moral equivalency since their students are signing off en masse on the notion that Israel, because of the occupation of these poor Hamas types, have gotten them to murder babies. I love to debate that in one of their religion classes or political science, or bring the whole gaggle of frauds together there. What are they teaching now? What's Catholic theology say? Well, what does the Pope say about this? Not much. Too busy dodging saying anything about the Chinese. It's amazing. This is so graphic. It is so obvious what happened here, that the only ones I can see foolish enough to be commenting on it be the ladies on The View, Sunny Hostin and people like that.
I wonder what they have to say today.
Yeah, Joy Behar said today, well, I thought Jared Kushner got peace in the Middle East. Ha, ha, ha. Let me go to Robert and Ben Salem.
Oh, man, she also asked if Putin's behind the homicide.
Yeah, that's right. He's, of course, Putin's behind Trump. Yeah. Hey, Robert, welcome in. Always great to have you.
It's great to be here, Dom, although I got a lead in from The View. Really? God, Joy Behar. Oh. Anyway, I call and talk to you guys about stories all the time, man, and I love listening to you every day. You guys are getting me through my kidney stone right now, and it's all good.
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that.
But I got about 10 more days of discomfort, but then I'll be fine. I'm a healer. So besides, my ex-wife had 5 kids. Okay, let's keep things in perspective here.
That's
but
true.
at any rate, it's rare that you call and a story kind of touches you. When they were reading off the names of the ships that they were sending to Israel, and they read the Gerald R. Ford, my heart froze. My daughter is an officer on that ship.
Oh, boy, yes.
And while I know that that is the biggest warship in the world and it is badass and she will do her job and she's strong and smart, as a dad, in my house, she's still sweet pea. You know what I'm saying?
Well, right. And you look,
So,
the odds are incredibly small of anything breaking through with that. But look at what we're dealing with, that I get it. Sure.
but on another level, I'm proud because whatever her job is, America's in good hands. I'll just leave it at that.
Well,
But,
you've talked about her as a great father-daughter story over the year. It impresses me just the way you position it, Robert. It's so heartfelt.
It's in my heart, but I'm going to stay non-controversial today with my side answer to the side question. I'm going to go with Nat King Cole and Natalie Cole. And
Whatever happened to Natalie Cole?
I don't know. But I think that duet that she did with her dad was unforgettable. Was absolutely amazing.
She passed away back in 2015. Yeah, she passed away back in 2015.
She did?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How old was she, Dan?
I don't know. 65 years old.
Oh, I thought she was much younger than that. Okay.
Yeah.
But Nat King Cole, just the all-time name too, let alone the style. That is a really good one. That brought everything together here. All right, that's what we're looking for today, coming off Robert Kennedy Jr. announcing yesterday, 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board. There's still time to protect and beautify your home in time for winter. That's with Rhino Shield. Rhino Shield, as you know, looks like paint, goes on like paint, but it never chips, cracks, or fades. It's ceramic coating guaranteed for life, meaning never have to paint again. Picture that and getting it done before wintertime rather than saying, well, yeah, Dom, I was thinking next year or something. Well, you can take advantage now of the biggest sale of the year and avoid potential price increases because of inflation and supply chains and all that stuff and get it done before winter. Remarkable product, comes with a 25-year guarantee. Just as important when you're doing something like this is the reliability of the company. And that's where the local Rhino Shield owner, John Gilgee, comes in. He delivers every time. He's worked with tons of my listeners over the last 3 years to upgrade their homes with this durable, long-lasting alternative to paint. Now's the time to call. Biggest sale of the year. Get completed in time for winter. Visit My Rhino Shield, RHINO shield.com, or call 844-RHINO-99. 844-RHINO-99.
Excuse me, sir. You dropped your wallet.
Sorry, what?
I said you dropped your wallet.
Come again?
I said you dropped your wallet.
What?
Loss of hearing can really cost you, unless you have hearing aids.
You dropped your wallet. Oh, thank you.
Bluebell Hearing Aid Center, where better hearing and better living begins. Providing hearing solutions that are more powerful, precise, and user-friendly than ever before. Schedule an appointment today at BluebellHearingAidCenter.com. BluebellHearingAidCenter.com.
If you have Medicare plan questions and are turning 65 and getting inundated by mail and phone calls, learn the A, B, C, and D's of Medicare. Let the Senior Store answer all of your questions. Get your free evaluation today by visiting the Enrollment Center. Call a local Senior Store licensed agent at 877-YOU-LEARN-65 or by setting up an in-home visit. That's 877-YOU-LEARN-65 or visit theSeniorStore.com. Enrollment starts October 15th. Not affiliated with the U.S. government or federal Medicare program.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings 6 till 10.
The simple fact that I had kids in the car, that's why I jumped out like that. That's why I reacted like that. It was just to protect them, honestly.
Her reaction was, well, he already kicked in my car. What else was he going to do to me? And you said, shoot you?
Yes. In this city of all places?
I know.
Mama Bear stands up to him and threatens to kick his butt, knocks his bike down, and then you see him kind of take off.
Start your day with Kale and Company, weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT in the free Odyssey app. When Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT HD WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
It is Dom time. President Biden is going to, the Fox News headline is a little bit different than CNN and MSNBC. The Fox News headline, Biden to speak on Hamas terror in Israel. God knows what MSNBC headline might be. They've been the worst in this. Ali Velci and a few people like that. Just ridiculous. Dan, did I ever tell you when he was at CNN, I was getting made up in the chair next to him? And they were kidding about, putting stuff on the dome and all. It took them like a half hour to make that thing up.
What, Ali?
Ali Velci, yes.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
How long does it take you to get made up?
I do my own hair. They're not touching that. So, in a minimum.
Wait. You want to let a professional style your hair?
Well, they try to, but they always flatten it.
Oh, okay.
No flat stuff.
I'd rather feathery.
I'd rather have a little flyaway than the flat thing. You sit there like a helmet. So, I'd say 10 minutes, ease under.
Makeup too? Just 10 minutes? Just a puff around the cheeks?
That's it. Yeah. Sometimes you're sitting at Fox.
No eyeliner?
No. With women getting extensions, I won't name names, put in their hair.
Right there?
Yeah, right there. It's corking their bat right in front of you. I mean, it's too much.
Yeah.
So Biden's scheduled to speak. We'll give you any details on exactly what he says. As we said yesterday, it looks like Israel's poised to go in en masse with 250,000 soldiers or more into Gaza. That's what they have to do. And that is when you're going door to door to root the vermin out, that's not going to be easy. Okay. But one of the things, the silver lining of this, if we don't forget, is people are showing their true colors. This is so big, so horrific that a lot of people are putting out statements, and there's so much social media. So I told you about Harvard the other day. 31 organizations there joined in solidarity with the Palestinians attacking Israel. This is just, no sense of how savage this is. They're essentially, if you get them in a debate, they're justifying it. Saying, well, why don't you talk about all the kids in Gaza killed? Every one of these, Dan, Swarthmore, Harvard, and now the latest, LaSalle University, my alma mater, they put in their stuff about Gaza being 50% children. Can you imagine how horrific it is in Gaza now, et cetera? We know all that. The world knows that. But I am in the camp, Dan, and I wanted to ask you if you're in the camp to say there is no solution to this that I see other than Israel walling itself off and protecting itself. They gave the Palestinians Gaza, even though they control it in a security sense. And look at the result. This idea of a two-state solution. All that would mean is you'd have a Palestinian or an Arab state, another one arming up to kill Jews. They're telling you that's what they want to do. They don't want Jews there. How much more explicit does it? So last night, Josh Shapiro over at the big rally, there may have been 1,000 people there over in Lower Marion Township, I think it was. I know it was Montgomery County, at a synagogue there. Talked about don't forget who we are, push back on this, etc. I couldn't agree with him more. I just want to know, though, how he supports candidates when he doesn't have to, like this Kendra Brooks, Working Families Party, and others. That their group is rabidly anti-Israel at best and anti-Semitic, probably. How do you do that? So this is a time, this is so clear. And if it's not the usual thing, we don't pay attention to. Then you have Hamas threatening to kill the hostages. Will we see people tell us that that's justified over at LaSalle? Yeah, probably. The students are probably busily getting ready for that. You do have what then?
I have some of Shapiro if you wanted that.
Oh, yeah.
audio.
Let's
I
hear a
don't know
little
if you
bit of
need it.
Shapiro from last night.
Know that we are all joined by thousands of Pennsylvanians rallying in different cities and towns all across this Commonwealth this week in places like Pittsburgh and Scranton, State College and Allentown. But your presence here tonight in Lower Merion and those demonstrated supporters all across this Commonwealth send a strong message throughout our Commonwealth and our country that we stand against terror and we stand with Israel.
I'm in complete agreement with that. We're joined at the hip, Dan, except for one thing. Notice where he didn't mention there were rallies and all this stuff. Where didn't he mention in all these places across the Commonwealth? Philadelphia. We still don't see it here, and I don't think that's why they did it in the suburbs. They know here it's seething against Israel. All right, let me let's go to Mike in Philly on Talk Radio 1210. Good afternoon, Mike. Yo, Mike, are you there?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Mike, go right ahead.
Look, it's obvious that Hamas is the result of 50 years of oppression by Israel.
It is.
Time after time, Israel, over the decades, have violated international law, and they get away with it.
They do.
No other country can do that.
So
10,000 Palestinians have died in the past 10 years, thousands of them children. Nobody cares about that.
Well, when you're teaching your kids, and I think Golda Meir said this best, we'll find a partner for peace, where you stop teaching kids at the age of 5, 6, or 7 to be martyrs and blow yourself up. Don't you agree?
That's the only way they could gain their freedom. What else can they do?
Gain their freedom
no
from
army,
whom?
no Navy,
Wait
no
a
Air
minute.
Force.
Gain their freedom from whom?
From Israel. They keep taking pieces of their land, building settlements, which is a violation of international law.
Not where they
You
are.
want to talk about
Not where they
right,
are. Now,
wrong,
excuse
talk
me.
about international law.
Now, Mike, you probably know this, but that territory that they use as a buffer zone that you're referring to is not occupied territory. It's captured, won in war when they were attacked before, and they use it as a buffer zone to keep them off them from killing them. What do you say, though, when
Jimmy
you see
Carter blamed Israel for all, not lately, but in years past, he blamed Israel for what's going on now.
Well,
they have never lived up to the Camp David Accords.
I would say Jimmy Carter's a pretty bad source, Mike, with all deference. But, Mike, I would ask you, you can tell us now and justify the cold-blooded killing of babies.
That is propaganda. They said the same thing when Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait. They said Iraqi soldiers were rampaging through hospitals, killing babies and smashing equipment. It turned out to be a lie.
So you're not believing even the left-wing news organizations showing the bodies. They're made up.
You know what? Yes, they're not killing. They're not slaughtering babies.
All right, Mike, tell me why, what's your connection to this? You seem pretty passionate about it. It's rare that we hear someone this conspiratorial. What happened to you? What is it about Israel that's so off with you?
They keep violating international law. Simple as that.
Oh, it is. So much so that you would deny every news source on the ground, thousands of them, showing these dead babies.
A few houses were blown up, yeah, but we killed 5 million children in the 20th century.
Who did that?
The United States government, the Air Force.
So you want to bring and in World War II, we bombed Nazi Germany into submission. You're opposed to that?
Well, things like Dresden, where they tried to exterminate civilian populations, yes.
I'm not opposed to it. Think about what we were up against. So you're opposed to saving American lives against an enemy. How about dropping the bomb on Hiroshima?
Well, the United States is the only country to use nukes.
Thank God they did, right? We're here because of that. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike. Again, they're out there. Two of them today.
I'm sorry, but expert there, Dom.
But bringing in the United States to this too, as these people do. So We will keep at it, Dan. We'll plug away and continue. We're just asking.
It's just like this guy that just called us. Does he really think? Is he looking in the mirror and thinking like the morally correct thing to do here is support Palestine? Is that really how people are thinking through this thing?
Yeah, when you can't get out of that,
villages being pillaged.
right? You got to say it's not happening. That becomes the level.
Oh, okay, yeah,
It's not happening. It's
yeah,
all
close
made
your eyes
up.
to it,
We've
yeah.
heard that twice today. It's just like the Iraqi because of one disinformation or something like that. No, they're showing their savagery. If your argument's going to be, it apparently is over at LaSalle. Well, that savagery is just the response. Where do we hear this before? We heard it with the George Floyd summer. We heard it with people attacking cops. We heard it with people burning down cities, murdering. We heard it when they were looting here in Philadelphia recently. The voice of the unheard. It's always the excuse.
This point might get me in trouble with you,
Okay.
so feel free to condemn it because we hate ever referring to Nazi Germany or anything historically to make a point. But in the early days of Nazi Germany, there was German economic peril, and the German economic peril was put completely on the shoulders of the Jewish people. And people started getting the ideology that what was being done to the Jewish people was A-OK. Because of all this blame that was being levied to them. So when I hear that last caller try to say, yeah, we should be doing this to Israel because the United States for hundreds of years, essentially doing the same thing that, Germans were doing to get Nazis on board. It's really scary that there's Americans marching on streets supporting this type of rhetoric.
Well, that supposedly, Dan, educational institutions, my alma mater, LaSalle, a Christian, at least on paper they are. LaSalle, you hear me? It's only on paper. The Christian brothers, every one of you brothers. Don't say you're unaware. We're telling you, Dan is in touch with you and all these organizations. What are you going to do about a gaggle of these student groups, including the LaSalle ambassadors, signing off on essentially it's the Harvard position that was put out, that Israel did this. You can't blame these people. This is what you get when you tyrannize people. They're going to kill babies. I guess that made them rape women too, so much so they're bleeding from the crotch. When you hear the head of the Anti-Defamation League, is a liberal outfit, say that on MSNBC today. But the guy sat there, Dan, with the Reverend Al Sharpton. That's a mistake. One of the all-time rabble-rousers in New York against Jews. That's how he got in the position that he was. So the idea, Swarthmore, we expect it. I told you what they say. They're mourning for the martyrs, these Palestinians who were killed in trying to kill Jews. But LaSalle, if you're a LaSalle alum, you might want to give them a call. We'd love to get them on. They can come in studio. They can bring whomever they want. They can bring 20 of them.
Right, so I still haven't
I'll go
DM'd.
there.
I still haven't DM'd the MSN. I'm writing it up right now.
Okay.
Would anybody from the organization happen to have availability to join us on the show to discuss the letter release justifying the situation in Israel? Is that a fair way
Or
to
just say,
Yeah.
Maybe they wouldn't like the word justifying, so maybe that would throw them off. That
just discussing the
yeah,
letter release
discussing
concerning
yes,
the situation in
yeah.
Israel. Okay.
Widespread support at LaSalle by all these student groups, including the ambassadors. That's the one that got me. They're the people that are the liaison between parents and alums and the university. Wow. And these are the people telling us to look the other way here about what's going on in Israel, what we're finding out. And we're nowhere near done with this. Attacks are coming in from Lebanon. And it's easy to say, look at the military might of Israel. But all they have to do is be overrun once, and it's over. What would be done to them? It's a very small country. I think I traveled the length of it 2 or 3 times the week that I was there because of broadcasting and all that. And I was impressed with the fact of the service of people protecting their country. I was impressed with the intelligence. I was at the university in Haifa, the people I interviewed there. It was a fabulous time. The fact that I had a broadcast from the BBC, well, that was a little bit different. All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210. You've heard a couple people today, even in talk radio, justifying this type of stuff or saying it's not happening. And you see any number of people scared to death to put out a tweet that are public figures saying they stand with Israel. You heard Josh Shapiro, and I'm in agreement with almost everything he said last night, except he noted all these places. Dan, think about it. I mean, all these places in the Commonwealth. Where is the center of the universe for this country that talks about liberty, freedom? Independence Hall, this area. Rallies have been held right across the street, major rallies. Or the Parkway. It's been done before. Why not? And I think because they're right, they sense it, that a lot of these people in Philadelphia are in opposition to it. That's the bottom line. That's the reason why. Here's one other thought, then we'll take more calls at 855-839-1210. Headline today from thefederalist.com. Why must Israel negotiate a ceasefire, but not Ukraine? Now, all circumstances are different. In other words, the pressure immediately now. Oh, Israel better not go too far. No, they are going to go into Gaza. They're going to clean house this time. Why that pressure on Israel, but not the people that support Ukraine in this, to try to push them toward coming up with a ceasefire and a sense of moving towards some settlement of this war? It's an interesting question. All right, 855-839-1210. You get in right now on Talk Radio 1210.
You're invited to witness a groundbreaking documentary, America's Retirement Dilemma, a documentary of Wall Street's rigged system, featuring powerful exclusive interviews such as the president and CEO of the leading analytics firm over Wall Street, Del Bar Incorporated, Lou Harvey, who explains why Wall Street is not set up to have a fiduciary duty to the everyday investor.
Wall Street is not set up to handle a fiduciary relationship. Too expensive to replace